Henshin Inspection presents Going Ultra. This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. You can find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Join me as I talk about Kamen Rider Gavv Episode 2, Tasty Zaku Zaku Chips. I just have to say, right off the bat, I am kind of forcing myself to just roll with it because as I'm watching this show, I'm thinking, this is so stupid. I don't understand why any of this is going on. I don't understand why this is the gimmick. In my short, I actually talked about the fact that Rider has to gimmick itself in order to be successful in today's age, I guess. I don't know what success looks like for Kamen Rider toys, but I don't know. Something like an I don't know that Evangelion's a good comparison. Yeah, this is what I'm going to talk about. First of all, I'm going to get out of the way. I did like this episode, so if that's all you want to know about, you can go ahead and go. The potato chip form is ridiculous, but also kind of I don't like it, but I think it's interesting in the way it's played off, which is that if you eat a chip at the wrong angle, it cuts your mouth and it cuts your throat. But if you don't eat it at the wrong angle, then it just crunches pleasantly in your mouth. Like, that's a ridiculous thing. And the fact that they got emotional buy-in from me with his mom explaining to him about potato chips really kind of makes me irritated, but it also shows Junko Kimura's skill as a writer, because she's been writing Tokusatsu for a while, and she's making me connect with this guy and his mom over stupid potato chips and this ridiculous form. And, like, that's kind of the power of Tokusatsu, and that's why I like it so much. But getting back to the whole merchandising thing, like, I can't believe that I'm watching a guy with potato chip superpowers. Why is that so much more ridiculous than a guy with spider powers? It's not, but if the guy started with spider powers and then he eventually got, gummy powers from eating gummies, then it would kind of bother me. But yeah, Kamen Rider is this weird thing. I mean, you could say Super Sentai too. It's so strange that it evolves and it had to reiterate itself, and it's relaunching itself, and it's putting this new spin on things to keep it fresh, to keep to keep consumerism up in a funny way. And there's a line that Shoma has that says, like, human happiness is not created for your consumption. And it's kind of funny because as a corporation like Bandai and Toei are working together to make these stories where the point of making the story is to make the toy line and to sell the toy line, which means they operate independently of each other. If the toy line is successful enough on its own, it can sell, and it kind of doesn't matter what the show's doing. But if the show's good enough on its own, it can be a success. How do they monetize the effort that went into making that, though? I don't really know. I guess it's by show. It's like by selling DVDs and Blu-rays. If they still do DVDs in Japan, I don't know. It's by having people buy figures. It's by the merchandise, and that's where the real money from the film is made, to quote Yogurt, and from Spaceballs, of course. If you don't know that, check it out. You'll like it. If you like this at all, you'll be able to roll with Yogurt and Lone Star and everybody else in Spaceballs. Anyway, so, like, I'm watching this and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it for the story. I like what's going on. And then all of a sudden he gets this potato chip form, and there are chips popping up on the screen, possibly with Japanese sound effects or in the shape of Japanese sound effects for crunchy or crispy or whatever. I suspect that, but I don't know that for sure. And it's just, it's ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous, but I also like it and I'm enjoying it. So I don't really know what to say. This connection that Shoma has with Sachiko, and also kind of with Hajime as well, and Honto, is interesting. Honto is this reporter guy. He's investigating. He's a digital native. He's called it by his boss, and which is really funny because the guy's older. I mean, he's probably not that much older than me, but it's funny to hear him talk about the kid that way, or Honto that way. So, like, something interesting is happening where I said in episode 1 that I liked Hajime's performance so much I'd love to see him go into further episodes. He appeared in this episode in a sort of cameo. His mom is there, and Honto's interviewing her because she was attacked by a monster, as was her son. 2 monsters. Hajime, though, clarifies that one of the monsters was trying to save him. Hopefully Honto will remember that, because he gets a sketch of the monster from his mother, or from Hajime's mother, and it's a sketch, a very rough sketch of Gavv. And it's interesting that he gets that, and then he compares that to the sketch that he has from when he was a kid of the monster that attacked and killed his mother. He turned her into one of the press. She's probably already been eaten by somebody. I wouldn't think that he can get her back, because I wouldn't think that a human would last that long, and would be able to provide stomach ink or whatever with the ingredients they need for long enough to make anything last, years. It's been 18 years. If she's lasted 18 years, I will be shocked and irritated with the show for doing that. You could have made it 1 year ago. It'd be much better. Anyway, But it's kind of funny that he looks at these two sketches and he says, "Oh yeah, these are the same thing." Like that Office meme. They're the same picture. It's not the same picture at all. Like at all. He saw the guy was very dog-like, and I guess Gavv has what could be considered ears or antennae or whatever, but it's totally not that, and it's just odd. What else? I don't know. I like this very human story, the story of connection that's happening with all this weird antics going on. I have the show streaming or running over here next to me, so I can kind of glance at it and hopefully remember to say anything that I wanted to talk about. Oh my gosh, her friend has a little lighting rig for doing vlogs and stuff. Huh, interesting. This is my lighting rig right now, by the way. A little flashlight, and it's currently charging, so that's why things look the way they do. Anyway, so yeah, the very human story of like Sachiko wants to make people happy, and like happy is in her name, and her company is called something silly but fun, like Happy. I don't want to go back to the beginning of the episode to look at it, but I might just because I like it that much. Anyway, Sachiko, it's cool. She writes down and she shows him that the kanji in her name means happy, or it has happy in it, and so she supposes that's part of her character. That's why she wants to make people happy, which is really fun. And she lives in this wild place. I don't quite understand the place she lives in. Is it a crazy looking apartment building / office building? No, Handyman Happy Parade is what it's called. And it's really cool because the logo looks like Kiki's Delivery Service. I may take the time to put it up on the screen here, but I may not. But just go look it up for yourself. It's at 2 minutes and 45 seconds into the episode. If you look there, you should be able to see it. And it's really cute and it's really fun. It's a really fun idea. And it's cool because she talks about later on in the episode that she wants to do things to make people happy. Hey, she's going to get paid for it, but like something in her wants to help random people be happy with the outcomes that they're experiencing, basically in life. Your toilet craps out on you. I didn't mean to make a pun there, but your toilet goes bad, or whatever happens, she's going to come and she's going to do what she can to fix it for you, and you're going to be happy, and then she's happy that you're happy, and then for her, her favorite part of the job is when she gets paid. That's not what she's saying. It's a joke. Sorry. And I think that's really cool. That's really interesting. It's a really nice way to present market interactions, because all interactions are somewhat transactional between people, and you either transact with your time, your energy, your money, your attention, and we're kind of forced to have interactions and exchanges with people all the time, and they can either be good or bad. They can either be enjoyable or unenjoyable, depending upon how we and others around us conduct themselves. And the highest ethic would be for everybody to act honorably and honestly and positively with each other, and then we have like a happier life together, right? And yet, some people choose to act in this predatory way. Some people choose to act in a way where they take only from people and they don't give. There's no real exchange, or it's a very one-sided exchange where they kind of force the other party into interacting with them in a certain way. And that's kind of what you have symbolized. This might sound ridiculous, but it all makes a lot of sense to me, because Sachiko is operating on like a fair exchange, a value for value kind of exchange. And Stomach Inc., which is, I guess, is that really what it's called? Like if we go, yeah, Stomach Inc. It's really what it's called. Anyway, and Stomach Inc. exists not on that level. They are some sort of family business who does this thing, but they make the dark confections. They prey upon humans, and they get them. I don't know. I'm very unclear as to who they're targeting and how they target them, but they take people against their free will. They're hunting humans, basically. That's the bottom line. It doesn't, like, a lot of the details don't matter. They're hunting humans to use them for ingredients for their dark confections, and those do something. I don't know exactly what they do. They have employees. They have some sort of underground, upside down, black and purple CGI kingdom that they live in, or whatever. And I guess that's where Shoma was living with his mother for some time. And that the difference in those worldviews, the difference in those ethics of I'm going to do for people and help them and have these fair exchanges with them, versus we are going to hunt down people and kidnap them and kill them and put them into these possibly addicting food items that will sell at exorbitant prices or whatever. You can see the difference between those things. You could say, oh, they're both exchanges. But really, are they? And at what point does, like, at the very base level, though, the Stomach Inc., what they're doing is immoral because they're murdering humans in order to do it. What about food companies that make animal products? it's a different thing. It's a different thing. That's almost universally accepted that it's a different thing. However, people who agree that eating animals is a good thing to do or an acceptable part of life, they frequently would not like the animals to be tortured while they're being killed. They would like them to be killed in as humane a way as possible, to have as little pain as possible, and for it to be done in a sustainable sort of way. The best way is for it to be sustainable and regenerative as well, to actually heal the planet, help it grow, and things like that. But that's another story for another time. If you want to talk to me about regen ag or anything like that, we can totally do that. I'd love to. Just let me know. So yeah, it's really interesting that there's kind of these two worldviews, or there are these two worldviews being presented, and my focus is on how it's business interaction and voluntary interaction, business exchange and voluntary engagement with a person and the product is what's at stake here. And Sachiko does more of like a service industry, so she's interacting with people and doing services for them, which is probably a little nobler than just a straight up product, because if products can be scaled, then that means that there could be like no care given to the end user, because look, you got your product, I got my money, that's it, our relationship is done. Whereas in a service business, you actually have to work with the person and you have to make sure that they're happy with the service that you've rendered, and it's a little more difficult, it's harder to scale, and when it's scaled it becomes less good for the end user. And it's kind of like I said, it's a little more of a noble business, because you're directly interacting with people and you're taking care of problems for them, or giving them solutions, and they give you time. Of course, it's harder to become super wealthy off of that thing, because you can't scale that product, because the product is you. You're the product offering the service to these people. Or you're the instrument for offering the service, and there's only one of you, so you're limited in that way. So I think I've done a decent job talking about the contrast there between the two types of businesses being operated, being shown in operation in this business, and how they affect other people, and what that means. One is very immoral, the dark sweets, dark confections business, and the other one, the service business, helping people out, is very moral. Going past that, because I don't want to talk about this for too much longer, I'd like to cover a couple more things. I find it interesting that Shoma tastes the sushi and nothing happens. He eats a gummy again. The first thing he has is a gummy of some sort, and he's, little items are created for him. Creation, destruction, death, life, consumable items. That's something I want to get to in a minute, so let me hurry up with this. So he is able to get more gummies out of eating gummies, for his belt, for the Gavv. For the sushi, does nothing for him. The potato chips do produce something for him, though. He has a positive association. He has a emotional connection with his mother over potato chips, and I would assume gummies as well, because it seemed in the first episode like he had heard of gummies, but he doesn't really say that. It just sounds like that's probably the case. So I'm wondering if every food that he eats that produces something out of his Gavv that can go back into his Gavv, which kind of doesn't make sense, right? But whatever, will be something that he has a strong emotional connection to his mother, or to, and I think a lot of that will come from his mother, and it'd be really interesting to see if something that he eats with his friends here, who he's making, Sachiko, probably pretty easily, and then Hanto maybe, and maybe even Hajime, is going to be something that's going to give him power, versus things that, which would be cool, because it would be showing him having a new strong emotional connection with somebody, not just his dead mother, but these new living friends who he has, these new people in his life who give meaning to his life and really make the joy. It's not that the joy comes from the food, it's the joy comes from who you share the idea and the memory of the food with. I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that gets worked on here. Another thing, so I find it strange that his belt eats stuff and then stuff comes out of it. Well, at the end of his transformation with the potato chip, the Zaku, what are these things called? I don't know what they're called, because I don't really care, because it's a toy thing. Oh, Gochizo. Okay. They're slowly becoming characters. I might have Gochizo remembered by a couple episodes in, but we'll see. Anyway, the Zaku potato chip, Gochizo dies. It gets little wings and like flies up, to heaven or whatever, because it's gone. He's consumed it. So it's a consumable item. Manufacturing, you use consumable items. Your toothbrush is a consumable item. You get rid of it and have to replace it. So he's going to keep eating, and his belt is going to keep spitting out these things, and then he's going to use them, and then they're going to have their use will expire, and he won't be able to use them again. So that's interesting to me, that there's this idea that those things are consumable and that they go away and he has to get them back. I don't know how that's going to be utilized in the show, but it did strike me as interesting, and I almost wonder if there's if that's like tied thematically into the show, because I'm sure if Komura and company didn't want it to be that way, it wouldn't be that way. So I'm wondering what the purpose is behind that. Is it supposed to show the ephemerality, the temporariness of things, and how we have to be thankful for them and not take them for granted? Or could it be something else? I don't really know. I really like these monster designs with the stomach in the middle of them, and then that like bear midsection. It's just like this black void type of thing, like showing a mouth, representing a mouth. I think it's a really cool, clever thing to do, and I like it a lot. And I don't know, it's a weird show, but I'm liking the things that are here, and some of the, you know, crazier tokusatsu elements in it, and the modern stuff that I don't like, that's like so commercial and so, I don't know, weird. I don't really dig, but like at the core, it's something I really like and I find a lot of value in. And I mean, I'm really liking this. So we'll see how it goes going forward. I hope to continue liking the show. And yeah, if you are liking it, let me know. If you're not liking it, let me know. Let's talk about some of the things I brought up this episode. I'd be curious to hear your opinions on them. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Remember to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. I want to help. I want this channel to grow, and you can help me do that if you're enjoying what I'm saying, and if you want to help me, you know, keep making this stuff. I would really appreciate that. So, anyway, until next time, folks, take care, be well, and don't eat people. Okay, that's not good. I hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe to keep up with me. Like and share to help me reach more people like you, and go to mjmunoz.com to find your next favorite thing. And don't forget to let your voice be heard. Stories are always better when you're part of the conversation. Until next time, be well. This is MJ signing out. This has been a Story Over Everything production.